Here's the thing about exponents. You look at the exponential form and you look at the expanded form. Go from there. Hi, I'm Sarah. I've been a math and science teacher for 20 years, and I'm here to make math engaging and fun. Oh, click on the link, do the stuff, like, subscribe, follow. There's really only one major thing you have to remember about exponents. Remember, we don't want to just memorize the rule, right? Oh, it's product of a product and product of a quotient and product of a power. No. So if I have x cubed, that's the exponential form, x times x times x. So x cubed is x times x times x. Great, we've got expanded form, we've got exponential form. If you can do that, you never have to memorize a single exponent rule. Because here's the thing. Let's say, okay, I've got x squared times x cubed, right? So x squared times x cubed. Now there is a rule, right? There are exponent rules where, oh, if you do this, you add the exponents. If you do this, you multiply the exponents. If you do this, you subtract the exponents. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to memorize anything. All you have to memorize is just this expanded and exponential form. Because if you know this, you can figure out this. Easy. X squared is x times x. X cubed is x times x times x. So what is this? X to the fifth. Done. I didn't have to memorize a silly rule. Silly, sure. If I had the other one is x squared like cubed. So this is like power of a power. This is the product rule, I think. Product of a power, product power rule, something like that. See, I don't even know what they're called because I don't want to memorize them. Okay, but I have x squared to the cubed, right? So what that is whatever's here, I'm going to cube it. So I have x squared times x squared times x squared. And now I've got x times x times x times x times x times x. It's x to the sixth. Done. So here you can see the rule, right? The rule is that here you add them, here you multiply them. But did you have to memorize them? No. You can just figure it out. You will eventually, if you are working with this enough, you will eventually get there. That you'll probably like start to kind of like, oh yeah, I add them. But I even find myself when I'm teaching this, I usually have to kind of remember and double check because it's silly. Like if I just see that on my own, I have to always visualize this. Like my brain goes back to this. And then I remember, right, you multiply, okay? So then the quotient rule, again, just have to do this expanded form, okay? I love exponents. So now if I have x cubed over x squared, what do? X cubed over x squared. We expand, right, in expanded form. So I have x times x times x over x times x. Now, this one is going back to basic fraction things, right? Where you've got x over x, that's 1, canceled. X over x, that's 1, canceled. All I'm left with is x. So the quotient rule is technically you subtract the exponents. Okay, but you can also think of this as canceling out. This makes it a lot easier when you have a whole bunch of different variables. Because remember, these only apply when the variables are the same. Right? When just those x's, right? If there were y's in here, like the y would only cancel with the y and all of that kind of stuff. Negative exponents. This is a really fun investigation. Have you ever wondered what a negative exponent does? Let's get into it. So with a negative exponent, what I like to do is, again, what is math all based on? All patterns, right? It's all patterns. So let's check this out. I'm trying to pick the right color. So 2 squared is 4. 2 to the 1 power is 2. This is usually one of like the very first things that I talk about when we talk about exponents. So 2 squared is 4, 2 to the 1 power is 2. And sometimes I have my students like doing that on calculators, great. And then I say, okay, well then what's 2 to the 0 power? Sometimes they know, sometimes they do on their calculator, sometimes they don't know. And I say, well, it's 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Just like anything over itself is 1. So then we start talking about what is 2 to the negative 1? And we start looking at patterns. It's all patterns. It's all patterns. Okay, so here, this pattern here, what do you notice? I'm doing this like my lesson. Okay, So what do you notice about the exponents? We're going 2 to 1, 1 to 0, -1. So this is -1, -1, -1, right? We're subtracting 1 from the exponents each time. So for each step, when I subtract 1 from the exponent, I divide by 2. Same thing here, I divide by 2. It's not going to change. The pattern doesn't change. Just because it's going into negatives, it's a pattern. It doesn't change. So same thing, when I subtract 1 from the exponent, you divide by 2. So what is that? What is 1 divided by 2? It is 1/2. So then a 2 to the -2, well, I subtracted 1, I divide by 2. 1/2 divided by 2 is 1/4. Again, the pattern never changes. So -1, divide by 2. The pattern's never going to change. So what does a negative exponent mean? It means it goes on the bottom. That's it. That's it. Negative exponent, it drops down. That's what the negative sign does. So we could be writing these here. I could have this as 1 over 2 to the 1. This could be 1 over 2 to the 2. Because once you drop that number down to the bottom, the negative goes away. That's it. That's MathedUp. That's it.